Israel, God is calling, calling thee from lands of war. Babylon the great is falling, God shall all her towns o'erthrow.
We were guiding these kids through treacherous territories.
A lot of creeks, a lot of hills, a lot of rivers. We were carrying these hand carts across how many miles? 11 miles?
Something like that.
Trek is basically we dress and act like pioneers for the weekend. We pull hand carts and we attempt to recreate some of the trials and challenges that maybe they went through as they were making their way to Salt Lake.
Modern kids to understand what it was like to be pioneers back then and their trials, and even though they're not exactly the same, they're kind of smaller, but we get somewhat of a feeling of what they had to go through, and we appreciate what they did more for us.
There's this adage that this guy told me yesterday. It was, why did the man hit himself 100 times with a hammer? And then I said, because he was stupid. And he said, because it would feel so much better afterwards when he stopped. And I completely know what I completely know where he's coming from now, so hooray.
Ma and Pa is the adopted parents of the Trek for the weekend, and we have signed on to be Ma and Pa, which means that we're going to lead about 8 to 10 youth on our journey.
And we kind of help facilitate as they set up their tents, as they cook dinner and fires. You help each other no matter what, you stay together no matter what, and whatever problems you go through it together. Make sure everyone's safe, most importantly, and make it a good spiritual experience as well. They're all sweet and kind, and they're totally helping, and I love it.
Yeah, I think Ma and Pa are someone to teach, someone to guide, someone to lead, someone to be an example of hard work, but also of a good relationship for the kids to see.
A way to get us all to work together, but not like have to worry about having too many people at one spot.
Kind of seems like we're all family now and everyone knows each other really well.
See the contrast and maybe get a taste of what their life was like in comparison to ours now, and to see how much they had to sacrifice to get to where we are now.
You realize that there's a lot more stuff you have to take care of. It's not just walking around, it's taking care of everyone's sleeping and everyone's food and going through rivers and helping people who get like stung or hurt or anything. It's a big process.
And so that's why I can't imagine how the saints, the gospel meant so much that they could do that for months, and I just wonder if I could do that.
As hard as I thought, especially because lots of the spirit and fun and the songs and stuff people were singing made it better.
To me, some of the highlights were seeing how well the kids worked together when they were pulling the carts.
I think going up the hill was a huge highlight because before we even started, we had groups that wanted to help each other out and we're teaming up, and so I could barely even work at the top, and then everybody else came racing down to help us,
And looking back and seeing other people who had already made it to the top run back down to help the next cart come up, that was really awesome to see that.
I was amazed on how easy it could be with that many people. I think that was so fun.
When the guys went off to the Mormon battalion, looking over at, we only had 4 girls pushing the cart, and just kind of looking over at them made me feel, I wanted to help them and I couldn't. I felt so bad that I couldn't just go over there and help them push. And then to find out that, they got stung by all those yellow jackets.
And then they were given blessings. That was probably my favorite part, just because you could feel the spirit and you could tell that the priesthood is really present with us.
It was definitely tough for me to watch the girls have to go through that. Kind of puts it into perspective, what what the Pioneer girls had to do, and the guys left for the Mormon Battalion.
Yeah, crossing the creek like 5 times was kind of like a really hard challenge because you had like rocks pointing up in your toes.
Even though they were like cold and painful, but I thought it was fun. It's interesting.
Looking back on the day, seeing that all we accomplished, and then being able to just kind of, I guess, relish in the hard work that we put into it, and knowing that we did that, and feeling that sense of accomplishment.
You're faced with challenges and you're, dealing with them together, and you've got a group of people that you have, you don't know who they are, but as you overcome each obstacle as it comes your way, and you realize that working together you can, conquer all of these challenges, it's a really special moment, and it really brings you close together. And then, there's just so much joy in that.
I don't know, it's all been really fun. I really didn't expect it to be fun, but I'm hoping to come back when I'm 17.
Yes. Yes. Even though it's my second time, I would definitely do it again.
I'll get to go again, so that'll be nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is actually my second time coming to trek, so
Same.
I would definitely do it another time if I could.
Yeah, I would volunteer, and it's very fun.